Alright, so before we even get into the actual hair, I'm going to show you how to do the type of braid first. So for those of you who don't know how, just kind of use this beginning half and learn. So what you want to do is section off the hair and give me 3 pieces. And then when you braid, you don't want to braid towards the head, okay, like I just showed you. That's not the type of braid we want. We want to start braiding so that we pull the hair up towards us, okay, so make sure that you pay attention and that you do it that way. And what I'm doing is I'm taking 2 pieces in my right hand, and then I'm going to take this piece right here on the left, and I'm going to put it between my middle finger and my ring finger, and then I'm going to pick up hair like a French braid and then put it in between my ring finger and my middle finger. Then I'm going to take my middle finger on my other hand, and I'm going to basically put it over the furthest left piece and under the middle piece, okay, and then I'm going to basically twist it. So I'm going to pull that middle piece over so that it now becomes the left piece, and the left piece now becomes the middle piece. Then I'm going to put the right piece in between my pinky and my ring finger. And then I'm going to go ahead and pick up hair on the right side and put that in between my pinky and my ring finger. And then I'm going to take my pointer finger on my right hand, and I'm going to go over the right strand and under the middle strand. And then I'm going to go ahead and twist that so that now the middle strand becomes the right strand and the right strand becomes the middle strand. Okay, and then now the left strand is again between my ring finger and my middle finger. And then I'm going to pick up more hair, place that between my ring finger and middle finger, take my middle finger on my left hand, go underneath the middle strand, and then twist it so that the middle strand becomes the left strand. And that's basically the process over and over and over. So this braid isn't very difficult to do, just like a normal braid. It's just the difference is now that you're braiding a different way, and it's just a little bit hard for your fingers to figure out what's going on. But once you understand that groove, and as you go along, it gets way easier, and then like your fingers just figure it out. So make sure that you just watch that over and over. If you don't get it the first time, it'll be fine. Just practice makes perfect. Okay, so what we're going to do is start by parting the hair. I'm going to put the part on the right side of the head, and then I'm going to pull the hair to the left side. So the line is going to be on the right and the hair is going to be on the left. So make sure that you make your part as straight as you can get it, and I want you to bring it all the way down to your neck. Okay, that way we can go ahead and move the hair that's on the left so I can like put it up in a ponytail and get it out of my way, and that way we have the whole right side to work with. So right here, you can see that I do put the part pretty far over on the right side of her face. I kind of go like where her pupil is and then go back. So that's what y'all need to do so that we don't have like super huge braids. We want these to be like a smaller size, so make sure that you do that. So I went ahead and I brushed her hair back and tilted her head over, and now I'm parting her hair again so that we have the section that we're going to use for the actual braid. So right here you can see that that whole section, that will be a braid by itself. So make sure you see right there I made the lines nice and straight, and I pulled the part all the way back to the main part. Okay, so we're going to call that part, the long part that we first made, we're going to call that the main part, and that's like a little baby part. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and section that off with a hair tie, and then I'm going to bobby pin it down so that it doesn't move around and all that. Now I'm going to go ahead and give her another part. I'm going to try and make sure that I make these sections as even as possible. And again, you can see I made the lines very straight and pulled that baby part all the way back to the main part. And then I'm sectioning that part off with a hair tie, and then I'm bobby pinning it down so it stays out of my way. And now we're going to go ahead and start braiding. The braid you want to do first is the one closest to your ear. And that's just because if we do the other braids first, we won't really be able to get down to this hair by the ear. So as you can see, I'm basically doing exactly what I did in the mini tutorial at the beginning. I am taking 3 strands of hair, and then I'll start doing that braid. The braid that we're doing is called an inverted braid or a Dutch braid. So make sure that as you're doing this braid, this one will be the hardest just because the hair that's right up by the ear is the thinnest. Okay, so make sure that you're just patient and pay attention to what you're doing, and you won't have to redo this braid over and over. Make sure that you make the braid as tight as you can make it, so as you're braiding, kind of pull at it so that you can start to see what you're doing, because if you just leave the braid loose, you won't really be looking at anything and you won't be able to tell if you're doing it right. So make sure that you keep the braid tight. Also, by keeping the braid tight, it'll be easier for us to see what the hair looks like. If you have loose braids, it won't look right. Also, just know that when I'm pulling hair, I'm only pulling hair from that little section, so I'm not going past the part that I made. So right there, I continued to braid it down past her scalp so that the braid hangs a little bit, and then I just sectioned that off with a hair tie. Now I'm moving on to the middle braid, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a section at the front, part it 3 ways, and then start braiding. I'm going to do the same thing and make sure that it's nice and tight. The other thing that I forgot to say was when you braid that first braid, you want to keep it as close to the part as possible, as close to that line, okay? Because if you start to curve this down too fast, the braid will disappear. We won't be able to see it. So right here you can see that I noticed that I braided it and curved it down too fast. So right here, I'm going to re-braid it. I'm not going to show you, but just know I took the braid out and had to redo it because I did it wrong. Okay, so right here you can see better that the braid goes straight back first and then it curves down and it follows her part. Okay, that's what you want. That's what's going to make this look good. Okay, so make sure that you don't just start braiding it and letting it go wherever it wants. You need to make sure that it follows the part. Now I'm braiding her top braid, okay, and again taking 3 sections and then braiding the inverted braid all the way down, making sure to keep it nice and tight. The tighter the better, because when your hair flips around during the show, these braids won't get lost if they're very tight and close to your scalp. Also make sure that you do braid your braid down past the scalp so that all of the braids hang down a little bit. Okay, so at this point you should have 3 separate braids all hanging a little bit off the head. So then right here you can see that because I kept the braids tight all the way down, you can see each individual one. Okay, and so now from the front it looks like we have a little shaved head. That's what we want. So now I'm going to take the 2 top braids, okay, and right where I'm pinching my fingers, that's where I'm going to go ahead and secure them together with a little hair rubber band. So after we've done that, what we're going to do is I'm going to take a section of hair from the nape of the neck. Okay, and I'm going to pull from the hair that we already sectioned off earlier at the beginning. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that section of hair and then I'm going to take those braided sections, okay, and I'm going to go ahead and secure these all together with a little hair tie. Now the mistake that I made here was that I did it right down the middle. What you want to focus on is doing it more to the left side of your head so that the braids and the hair blend in better. Okay, so as you can see, it's like right in the middle. Okay, we don't want that. Make sure you do it a little bit closer to the left side of your head so that it's hidden. And then right there what I did is past that hair tie that we just laid down, I took out all the other hair ties and unbraided any of the hair so that we have smooth hair past that hair tie. Okay, so your braids are going to stop at your head. Okay, so make sure that after that point you've unbraided everything else. We don't want a braid all the way down. And then this is your finished look. Make sure that you hairspray down any little crazy little wispy hairs. And this is what your hair should look like. So the most important part for this is to make sure that your parts are nice and straight and defined and that your braids are super tight, okay? The straighter your parts and the tighter your braids, the cleaner this will look, okay? And then it won't look crazy, okay? So make sure that that's what you focus on the most. And then the last thing you need to focus on is making sure that your hair is super straight, okay? No frizzy hair, because then we'd be looking crazy.